The Russia-Ukraine war is in its fourth year now. So much has been written about the loss to life and property on both sides of the border. But what about the environment? The environmental damage from Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine has been catastrophic, with long-lasting consequences for ecosystems and the global climate. Today, let's take a deep dive into the environmental losses, as highlighted in a New York Times article published this week. Scale and scope of damage. Ukraine estimates the environmental toll at over $85 billion. Earlier assessments pegged it at $55.9 billion, indicating a sharp escalation as the war progresses. This includes direct damage to soil, water, air, and biodiversity, as well as indirect costs like lost ecosystem services. Approximately 30% of Ukraine's territory has been affected, with about 155,000 square kilometers potentially contaminated by mines and unexploded ordnance. This has rendered vast swathes of agricultural land unusable, threatening food security, given Ukraine's role as a global breadbasket. Around 30% of Ukraine's forests and a third of its protected natural areas have been damaged or destroyed by shelling, wildfires, and military activity. Notable examples include the burning of forests in the Chernobyl exclusion zone and the Kinburn Spit National Park. Soil contamination, artillery shells, mines, and exploded ordnance release heavy metals such as lead and mercury and explosive residues such as TNT and RDX into the soil. These toxins degrade farmland with long-term implications for agriculture and human health through the food chain. The destruction of industrial sites, like chemical plants and fuel depots, has led to spills that further poison the earth. For instance, ammonia leak in Sumia and nitric acid tank explosions in Rubizhny exemplify this industrial fallout. Water pollution. The war has devastated water systems, most dramatically with the June 2023 destruction of the Kakhovka Dam. This unleashed 18 cubic kilometers of water, flooding 3,000 square miles, carrying oil, organic waste, and landmines into the Dnipro River and Black Sea. The resulting algal blooms and dead fish signal a marine ecosystem in crisis. Shelling has also ruptured dams and reservoirs, causing upstream droughts and downstream floods, while heavy metals and chemicals seep into groundwater, threatening drinking water supplies. Air quality. Continuous bombardment and wildfires, often sparked by combat, release fine particulate matter, carbon dioxide, and toxic smoke into the atmosphere. Last year's record heat, worsened by war-related emissions, drove up fossil fuel use for cooling, adding to the carbon footprint. The burning of fuel tanks and industrial facilities has spewed pollutants across Ukraine and into neighboring countries, with transboundary effects still under study. Biodiversity loss. Over 80,000 animals have been killed, and 600 animal species and 880 plant species are at risk of extinction. The Black Sea has seen mass dolphin die-offs, linked to sonar from Russian naval operations and pollution. Habitats in biosphere reserves like the Black Sea Biosphere Reserve have been torched or occupied, disrupting migratory bird patterns and rare species. Notable incident. Kakhovka Dam collapse in June 23 was labeled an act of ecocide by Ukrainian officials. This event alone caused $1 billion on environmental damage, flooding forests, farmland, and towns while polluting the Black Sea with organic and chemical waste. Attacks near nuclear facilities, where a drone struck the protective shield in February 2025, raised fears of radiation leaks. While no major leaks have occurred, the potential remains a global concern. Strikes on factories, such as the ammonia leak in Sumy or the destruction of oil refineries, have released carcinogens and toxins, with effects lingering in soil and water for generations. Legal and accountability efforts. Ukraine is pursuing 247 environmental war crimes cases, including 14 classified as ecocide under its criminal code. Tools like the Ecocide app have recorded over 5,000 incidents since 2022, with citizens reporting fires, spills, and pollution. This data supports Ukraine's $85 billion reparations claim, potentially to be funded by seized Russian assets. Long-term implication. The war's carbon footprint exceeds 100 million tons of CO2 equivalent as of mid-2023, rivaling the annual emissions of a country like the Netherlands. Contaminated water and soil introduce carcinogens and toxins into the food chain, with indirect health effects likely surpassing the 30,000 civilian casualties reported by early 25. Restoration alone could take decades, while rewilding or restoring ecosystems faces skepticism from officials prioritizing post-war economic recovery over biodiversity. Way forward, the war's environmental toll is a silent victim, with effects rippling beyond its borders. The push for accountability and green reconstruction remains a work in progress, hampered by the sheer scale of the devastation. That's it for today. See you next time. Bye.